Speaking of All In, they have officially surpassed the paid ticket number of SummerSlam 1992. As of 2 days ago, All In's ticket sales are 79,346, surpassing SummerSlam 92's paid attendance of 79,127. Now, it's pretty safe to say that they should be able to sell these last 650 seats and get 80,000 in the building, but there still is about 4,000 seats left over still to be sold. So they're at capacity at 84,000. So the hope and the belief is that they will surpass 80,000. I think that would be awesome if they did. In terms of the records it sets, none of that is important to me at all. There was a post on Twitter that was touting the ticket sales for All In. AEW officially surpasses SummerSlam 92. That's it. Put the two numbers side by side. And I was like, Greg, don't click on the replies. Don't click on the replies. Don't click on the replies. I clicked on the replies, knowing damn well what I would read. Butthurt fans. All men. Yeah, sure. Proof? You got proof? They are so angry and so fucking tribal. They are slaves to their own tribalism, to where something like this, news that is good. Look at this company that's 4 years old is going to put 80,000 people in a goddamn stadium in London. That's incredible. What about, I don't think that number's accurate, blah, blah, blah. Nitpicking the fuck out of this number is the only thing the haters have left. Two wrestling companies both doing good business at the same time is just too much for their fragile souls to handle. It's too much. The fact that they complain about this, the fact that they question the number and all of that, the number does not matter at this point. It does not matter what the number is. If AEW All In drew 60,000, I would consider it a huge success for AEW. That's already going to be the biggest crowd they've ever drawn. But no, they're coming close to filling this thing. And I know it's not the same Wembley Stadium. The Wembley Stadium in 92 was torn down a few years ago and a new stadium was built in its place right on the same location, still called Wembley Stadium, just a much nicer venue. So it's not technically the same, but it is the same. And they are going to put more people in this stadium, most likely, than WWE did for SummerSlam 92. But even if they didn't, and that's where the haters are just so bizarre. Like, let's say we're actually able to get some actual, accurate, real numbers, because we all know any attendance number that WWE announces is bullshit. It's bullshit. It is not real. So you got to find the actual, accurate ticket sales, the ticket numbers, that type of thing. And if you are able to find the SummerSlam exact number and All In's exact number, and let's say SummerSlam draws 200 more people, you're going to have these dipshits singing and dancing like it's a fucking victory or something. No, it's a victory for AEW, regardless of what number they pull. Anything over 60,000 is going to be incredible, and they have demolished that. So they're going to have way more than 60. They're going to have 80. This is a big deal, and I think it's absolutely absurd that fans are actually mad, big mad, butthurt, because they cannot stand the fans on the other side of this tribal war. And they ruin everything for themselves. It is more important for them to hate the fans on the other side than it is to enjoy wrestling. Back in the day, in the Attitude Era, I carried the WWE flag. I preferred WWE over WCW. But I certainly did not give a shit if WCW had fans that enjoyed their show. The last thing in the world that would have occurred to me at that time was to go out of my way to attack fans of WCW for liking a product that I didn't like as much as WWE. I watched more of WWE because I felt WWE was better. I watched more of the show that I preferred. That's it. There was two shows going on, Nitro and Raw. I liked Raw better, so I watched Raw. I might have thrown a joke or two WCW's way, sure, but I was never spewing hate. I wasn't so obsessed. I didn't let hating WCW become my entire identity. And I know it's not really like that in real life. This is more a social media type of thing, typing nonsense into the air because they simply cannot handle. They're too fragile to handle two wrestling companies doing good things at the same time. Nope, can't handle that. My precious little heart can't take it. So they act like babies, and they cry, and they whine, and they bitch, and they insult, and they put down, and they lash out because they're insecure and they're obsessed. So if you have anything negative to say about AEW's attendance, oh, I don't know if it's going to surpass SummerSlam, it doesn't matter. The number doesn't matter. Nitpicking the fuck out of the number is all they have. That's all they have to cling to. So the haters are going to do that. I don't care if AEW All In draws more or less than SummerSlam. It does not matter to me. If they draw less than SummerSlam, fine. They still put 75,000 plus people, close to 80,000 in that building. That is a monumental success. To look at that as anything else other than a success is fucking delusional. And so I just laughed. I'm like, these fans have got to get lives. I am begging you, motherfuckers, please get out there and see the world. There's a lot to see, a lot to do, and you'll realize that all this trivial nonsense that you waste your fucking time with 24/7 is silly. Be happy, be positive. Why is everybody so goddamn fucking negative and butthurt about everything? And it just cracked me up. I'm like, yeah, that's the way wrestling is now. Can't avoid it. It's the way fans are. They are so desperate to be heard, so desperate to feel important. Like everybody needs to know what this dipshit with 26 followers thinks of the All In attendance. No, we don't give a fuck. This is a big deal for AEW, and it's a big deal no matter what Joey Asscock bunch of numbers thinks on Twitter. So if you have a problem with this number and you've been wasting your time debating people online, stop. What the fuck are you doing? Do something else better. Get real problems, you know? So anyway, AEW is doing pretty good with All In. This is a huge number. And as I said on Monday, my personal belief is that this is the biggest AEW is ever going to do. I cannot see a scenario where they're going to draw more than this, at least in the immediate future. Because I have a feeling after Wembley, it's going to be a great show. Regardless of how the card looks, it's going to be a really good show. And I think Tony Khan's going to be tempted to immediately make an announcement and do it next year. We're coming back. He's like that. So I bet you he's probably going to do something like that. And then next year they're going to go there and they're probably going to be in the 50 or 60 range. That's my prediction. I don't think AEW is going to be able to do and draw 80K annually in Wembley. It's just going to be tough to do. And plus, if that does become a thing they want to do, then WWE is going to probably try to counter promote them too. And WWE was just there a month ago and AEW was still pulling in 80K. Imagine if Money in the Bank wasn't at the O2. Would it increase attendance for All In? Maybe a little. Might give them that extra 1,000 or 2 push they needed to get to that 80K. I certainly believe that. So, but I think that the crowd we're going to see at All In is going to be the biggest AEW ever draws. I can't imagine a scenario where they can outdo this unless they go back to Wembley and they pack it with more, technically, a few thousand more seats, or if they go to Dallas and try to do 100K like WWE did for WrestleMania, something like that. But other than that, I can't really foresee a scenario where AEW is going to draw more than what they're going to draw at All In. This seems like it's going to be the peak of fan attendance for them. And it's going to be the show that they talk about the way WWE talked about WrestleMania 3.